Hello everyone, continuing Iamblichus' Exhortation to Philosophy. In the previous video, I split one section of this chapter, chapter 13, into two videos. Just that one section. First one, Iamblichus explained the difference between an ordinary person overcoming the fear of death by substituting that fear for another fear, and a philosopher who transcends the fear of death by developing his reason and understanding the truths about reality. Then he goes and he says the same thing about self-control. We see the same thing about self-control. And I really like this part because it is very psychological. He says an ordinary person, when they develop self-control, essentially what they do is they just substitute one desire for another. He doesn't give this example, so this example I'm going to give now, the way I understand it, is for example, a person wants to develop self-control over what they eat, and they realize that they're eating a lot of chocolate. And so they say to themselves, I'm going to develop self-control, I'm not going to eat so much chocolate, I want to be healthy. So they cut out the chocolate. And instead of eating chocolate, what they start doing is eating something else that is sugary, or putting more sugar into tea, for example. And they're drinking a lot of tea and putting a lot of sugar into it. So that's one way I think this can be seen. Another way is they say, I'm going to develop self-control and not, for example, eat a lot of chocolate, so that I can satisfy another desire of the body, whatever that might be, so that my body, is slimmer, and thus I'm more attractive to others, and thus I can have more sex, for example. So what the person has done essentially is he said, I'm going to give up this desire, but for the other desire. And the person, by doing this, the person remains within the level of the body. They're not rising above the body, because they're simply substituting one body desire for another. So this is what I understand Iamblichus is saying in this chapter. How a philosopher works is very different. He says the goal of a philosopher is to develop self-control over all body desires, not to substitute one for another. And if we do this, then we're starting to develop virtue. And then we're getting true virtues, true self-control, and reap the benefits from it. So this is very powerful, I think. Because we see this in life constantly. We try to improve our life, but instead we substitute one pain for another pain. Yeah. So, okay, I have to run now. So we're going to do a quick meditation, any meditation you want to do. Or you can just look at this and contemplate it. See how in your life, how it applies to your life. In which parts of your life are you substituting one desire for another? And in which parts of your life are you transcending the desire by understanding how it truly impacts you and what that desire is linked to, how it influences your life, and how to transcend it, how to go outside of its sphere, rather than substitute it for its brother or whichever other desire. So you can contemplate that. I'm just going to meditate for a little bit. Okay, thank you guys. Write in the comments if you've noticed how this relates to your life, or if you can give more examples of how it relates to a person's life. And the video will now appear. You can click on it to continue watching this channel if you like. Thanks, bye-bye.